Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
What up? It's Tud.
And I'm Obert.
Guys, I've got a beer so fresh
Wait.
that it has to be drank right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay.
Every second that passes by, it gets a little less fresh.
Well, you better get cracking, I guess.
Yeah, I know. We're just going to get right into it.
What was this beer canned like seconds ago?
It was canned pretty recently.
Imagine it's been aging
Well,
for 5 years.
Yeah. What does pretty recently mean? Pretty recently is kind of a big window here.
Listen, it's been canned pretty recently. It's fresh, so we must drink it as soon as possible.
Is this a heady topper?
Yeah, I know. What's the expiration date on this thing?
No, my beer this week
2027.
is the Celebration Fresh Hop IPA by Sierra Nevada.
Oh,
okay.
2024 edition.
The other week, didn't we? We just talked about this.
Well, Obert had a fresh hop beer. And I talked about how we always have the Sierra Nevada does one. And so I saw it in the store and I said, oh, perfect. Let's bring it to the podcast. I never get fresh hop beers like Obert gets. And because it says fresh hop on it, I feel like I have to drink it like immediately or else it's going to be not fresh anymore.
It's going to be old, disgusting hop. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it'd be normal hop. Like, now granted, this thing was canned on October 15th, 2024. So a little over a month ago. That's not the freshest. That's why I feel like it's degrading every second that I sit here and I don't put it in my mouth.
Okay. Now, peek behind the curtain. Chris has to go to work in 5.5 hours.
Correct.
I was thinking maybe he should go first because, he has to wake up in presumably sometime in the next 5 hours and 25 minutes.
Well,
Maybe.
listen, I said I knew what we were doing. I said, let's start the beer review early. I did it, and now this has dragged on for 4 minutes. It's really both of your guys' faults.
Listen, I'm worried about the freshness of those hops. I don't know.
It's true. They're wilting like the flower from Dennis the Menace movie.
All right, I'm opening this thing up. By the way, it's for reference, it's Sierra Nevada 2024 Celebration Fresh Hop IPA. It's 6.8% ABV. And I believe because I'm on the East Coast, this is brewed in North Carolina, not wherever the hell they are in
Boulder, I think.
California. No, Chico, California.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, so you have an extra 3 hours of time zones working to your advantage too. So it's really canned, 3 hours earlier or later, I guess.
No. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it was canned on October 15th, 2024 in North Carolina. Now, granted, I don't know if the brewery's open. This could have ran through a hurricane. This could be swamp water for all I know. I don't really know.
I actually don't know if they're open either. I would assume no, but
well, I do know they were open this past weekend because I sent you that note about their drippy ceilings. Beer.
That was actually outside. That wasn't in Asheville though. That was like outside of Asheville. I think they own like a bar or something along those lines. Yeah, I looked into it. I thought about making the 2.5 hour drive after work, but
it's really close. I mean, it's not like it's a lot more
right
than 2.5 hours for me.
Yeah, that's true. But
so as you're drinking this super fresh hop beer, why don't you tell the audience what you mean by dripping ceilings?
Sure. So first of all, to look at the T-Rex test, I think the T-Rex would be able to see you. I don't know if he'd actually be able to find you, but he definitely would make out that there was something walking in this beer. It is very filtered, I guess is the best term. The head poured really nice. Yeah, so what I was talking about is every year Sierra Nevada does the Celebration IPA, which is one of their most sought after beers every single year. However, it was discovered that Sierra Nevada does another secret beer that they only give to their staff up until this year. And that's, I think it was called Drippy Ceilings, which is just like the super, super fresh, dry hopped version of Celebration, where like they leave the fresh hops hanging above the kettle, and the fresh hop like liquid continues to drip in for days. So it's like super duper duper fresh. And they released it to the public in North Carolina this past Friday. So we were trying to convince Chris to drive there after work, and he let us down. He was gonna get us a crowler of each, and he just didn't do it.
So it's called Celly Drippins.
Celly Drippins.
So you were pretty close. You were pretty close.
Drippy
We'll put the link in the show notes. But basically, the beer's made over with the leftover drippings collected after dry hopping the celebration. So that's how they make the beer, basically.
So it's supposed to be like a super limited release. I'm intrigued. I would like to try it. If
you're hearing this podcast, it's already gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was gone probably the same day. On the nose, it definitely smells like a West Coast IPA. Super dank, super hoppy. Kind of smells like a torpedo a little bit, just a little bit more fresh, if you will. But let's try it and I'll tell you more. So super earthy. Very, very intense of that fresh hop flavor, right? I mean, this tastes not like your normal torpedo or Sierra Nevada pale ale. This is very much more ground forward, if you will. You could definitely tell it was made with real, like, non-cryogenically frozen hops. It just has like that kind of like a leafy character to it, if you will. You guys kind of know what I'm talking about, right? When
like a salad? Tastes like salad?
Kind
I'm not
of
a salad guy, honestly.
Like a little like I get like earthy. I guess earthy is the tone that I'm getting. It kind of tastes a little dirtier, I guess. It doesn't. I feel like
if you went outside and just like started munching on some branches, some leaves on the trees.
like a hop. Like if you pulled a hop off of the hop plant and put it in your mouth, that's what this tastes like. It tastes kind of like like gritty, but also earthy at the same time, but very hop forward as well. Like it's super dank. It's really good. It just has a lot of earth undertones to it that you normally get from a normal IPA. That I think that this comes forward with a fresh hop IPA. Now, granted, we don't get many fresh hop IPAs in Connecticut because we're not a big hop grower out here. So, Obert, I think this is more for you. Maybe Chris, like, I think you're kind of in the right environment down in North Carolina where this stuff is kind of more regular. But as you guys know, hops don't grow in the Northeast. And if they do, they're not the world's best hops. They're not doing fresh hop IPAs with Connecticut hops. Overall, though, very solid IPA. I mean, at the end of the day, it still is an IPA. It just has a lot of that fresh hop forward. It's a Sierra Nevada beer. It doesn't have that punch in the face that Torpedo has, where you're like, holy shit, this is like so high IBU that like it kind of burns your mouth out. This is a pleasant kind of earth flavor, hop flavor, mellow beer at 6.8%. It is kind of high in the ABV range, but super drinkable. I wouldn't call it crushable, but I'm going to crush this can. Overall, I like it a lot. I'm going to give it a 4.25.
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good rating.
Yeah, it's a solid. I mean, I think I've had it Celebration this year. Maybe I had it on draft somewhere. I don't remember, but I always look at
yours will be even more fresh.
Yeah, it's the freshest. I always look for it. It's a good offering every year. Coming to no surprise to nobody. This has quite a few check-ins on Untapped. I don't know if you
the 2024 version.
Is there a 2024? See, I didn't look. I just saw. I don't know if they break it out by year. Celebration. I don't think they do. No, I only see. Oh no. Okay, there is one that's 2024 version. Okay, well, fine. Yeah, we'll do that then. Okay, so much less on this one now. 2,921 ratings for Celebration 2024, and it looks legit. They have the placard up there and everything. So I think, but I don't see a lot of other years. I don't know what happened. Maybe they're deciding to go. Anyways, Untapped, figure it out. So anyways, go ahead.
I'm gonna say people are gonna be very much in my realm. It is a special release. People like Sierra Nevada. I'm gonna guess above my rating though, because I think people are going to rate it, based on Sierra Nevada's reputation and hop hype. I'm gonna say 4.32.
No, leaving it wide open this time. It is a formidable rating comparative to the masses, but 4.12. So not a slouch by any means. So 0.2 off. The just for everybody's, I know you guys are clamoring at home. You're wondering what was he talking about? The just general Celebration has 232,000 check-ins, and that's a 3.73. So
wow,
2024 0.39 better than its general counterpart. So
makes me want to go out and try this year's.
I know, right? It's gotten way better.
It's very good.
Everybody who's checked it in already has done what Tud did, which is basically get it from the store to their lips as fast as humanly possible.
They picked it straight from the celebration tree, and they rushed home. Because if you wait a few days, or if you get one with bruises, you have to make it into cider or something like that, you know?
Celebration pie.
Yeah, celebration pie, right. You can't sit on them. If they get real bad, you could probably make like a celebration cake, I guess. I don't know. Anywho.
I will say that this was kind of difficult to find too. Like I had to go to multiple package stores to try to find this. Yeah, I don't know why. Generally, I remember seeing it pretty regularly, but for whatever reason, this year was kind of difficult.
It's because it's
so. Were you
0.4 better?
That is a good point. It's high demand. Now, were you looking specifically for the celebration, or were you looking for any fresh hop beer in general? Did you see any others?
I went out to get this one. This was exactly what I wanted. I said, I'm going to go find this. I know it's that time of year. I saw that article that I sent you guys about Celly Drippins, and I said, I got to go at least try the normal celebration.
Nice. I was going to say, I feel like I see it all the time, but that would make sense because they're in my state. So,
right.
So I guess that makes more sense. But yeah, like I said, I can't remember, or do I have it in my fridge right now? I don't know. I definitely have had it this year, though. It's good. It's good beer. Good beer.
I mean, if you have it in your fridge right now, you could
double review.
Unfortunately,
so that way you could.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Fortunately, you can't guess, and you can't get any points. But
yeah, I know, right? So actually, Tud visited my area, and today I'm visiting Tud's area. So I have a I was walking in the store today, and I was looking for something because I think everything in my fridge is just stuff I've had before, and I'm pretty sure I've not had this beer in particular. If I did, it was a long time ago, and I'm just committing to it. But I was walking down, and not often do I see an offering from Sam Adams that grabs my attention. But they had a holiday, like I think they called it the cheer pack or something like that, like the holiday cheer pack. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And there's one in particular that was in there that they all sounded good, and I feel like I've had maybe a few of them, but this one was their Samuel Adams Holiday White Ale, which is all it says is spiced and citrusy. So
interesting.
I feel like this might be newer, or I don't know. Like I said, I don't often, I overlook Sam Adams quite a bit. But this one jumped out at me. It was like 4 beers that I've either never had or haven't had in a long time. And I was like, you know what? 'Tis the season. It's past Thanksgiving. All the pumpkin beers are gone. So now we're on to spiced citrus ales. So I'm kind of excited. I know nothing about it. Nothing about this beer outside of its Sam Adams. And I'm reading right now, full of friends, family, festive parties, last minute gifts, and food mishaps. Whatever happens, this flavorful ale is your trusty +1, smoothing things over with orange peel and holiday spices. So let's give it a shot. See if my impulse buy led me astray.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only times that Sam Adams catches my eye is with their interesting mix packs, because it seems like they do a pretty good job of at least getting me with the marketing, you know?
Yeah, and I just have issues, in the summer, I'm not the biggest fan of their summer ale, and I know a lot of people are. So I kind of avoid them then. I do like Cold Snap, but I haven't had that in a while. So it's I don't know, just I'm visiting New England. I'm going home in a few weeks for a weekend, so just getting in the mood.
Can you describe this can? I mean, once you're done pouring, can you hold the can up? But I think we should describe this can to the listeners, because this is one of those things that we talk about, that the can to me is very plain, right?
It is. It is a very plain can. It is just a silver can. A few festive looking decorations on the side of the Sam Adams, kind of like a Sam Adams shield. It just says Holiday White Ale. Nothing overly spectacular, no big pictures, no anything crazy, but luckily it was in a box, so I didn't see the can when I bought it.
Listen, if I would have saw the can, it would have intrigued me to buy it more. That's part of my argument.
So pouring very heady right now, which surprise, I poured it. So, but there we go. But a nice thick head on it. It's got a little bit of haze to it. It's not completely clear. I can definitely see through it, but not completely clear. We'll do a. You'll see if the T-Rex will get you or not. Let's see. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see in the glass, but it lights up a lot.
I think you may be safe. Bulb.
Might be okay.
Like Rudolph's nose.
Yeah, exactly. That's
it's very shiny.
That's very shiny. So bright. All you need is a flashlight to guide my sleigh tonight. All right, on the nose, definitely a lot of spices. So I think this is going to hit you pretty hard with the spice. It's spiced and citrusy, so that's to be expected. I think it's going to taste. I think it's going to be good. Let's find out though. Let's see how spicy and citrusy it is. Okay, all right. You know what? I'm here for this. This is good. I was really expecting from the smell. I was expecting to hit me really, really hard. Sometimes you get those beers, and I think about them with pumpkin beers a lot, where they're like really heavily spiced, and it just like kind of lingers on your tongue. Like by the smell of this, I was expecting that, but no, this is very. It's like a nice light medium spice. So like it definitely stays there, but I definitely get some cinnamon, maybe some like. I don't know what holiday spices are. Nutmeg, maybe.
Coriander?
Maybe. I don't know. But then it does kind of transition over to like a nice light, like citrusy ale on the back end. So it's not overpowering one way or the other, but like whatever you do get hit with at the beginning, which again, light medium, does get washed down with like a nice easy drinking citrus ale. And like I don't get a ton of orange from it. Maybe a hint of it, but nothing overpowering. It's like a really easy drinker. I was expecting, like I said, like very heavy on the spice, but it's pretty well balanced. And 5.8%. This is like a nice sit around the Yule log, right? Yuletide log, and enjoy a few of these beers. That's I think what you do.
Just like in the olden times, sit around the Yule log.
Just like the olden times, yeah. That's what they used to do. But no, very easy drinker. I think I expected more flavor, like a lot more flavor. It's flavor. It has flavor, but I expected more robust flavor, I guess is what I'm saying. But I'm enjoying it. It's good. Not gonna knock my socks off. Probably won't buy it again unless it's like in my fridge for a few months. But
Now, does it remind you, just reading the description and the category it is in Untapped, and it being considered a white ale?
Yep.
Does it remind you of the Allagash white at all?
See, not
interesting.
Not really. Not to me. I'm not the biggest Allagash fan. Because I don't get like as much Belgian-y from them as I do the Allagash. Like,
okay, that's kind of my question.
Yeah. No. Allagash, and I know I understand what they do and they're very good, but like they're always just slightly too Belgian for me. But no, I don't get that from this. I can see maybe they're like relatives, like distant cousins. Yeah. Yeah. And
related,
plus this has,
yeah.
I don't know if this, I don't remember Allagash White having spice in it, but it's been a long time since I've had spice like that. So, or I've had Allagash White. So, but this is good. I like it. Doesn't blow my socks off, but it's a solid offering. I'm going to give it a 3.5. It's good. I'll finish the rest of them. But like I said,
now on the spice scale, from baby to sporty, where does the spice
It's a good
land?
question.
Honestly, and this is kind of a layup, I'd say about ginger.
Okay.
Is sporty the top spice, by the way? Is that what we're agreeing on?
I just figured it was as far from baby as you could get.
Oh,
so.
That's fair.
I don't know.
I'm a posh spice guy myself.
Which one's the one that's married to David Beckham?
That's posh.
Posh. I would assume that's probably the answer.
Surprising no one, there are 30,432 check-ins to the Holiday White Ale.
There's a year version of this.
Okay.
How many check-ins is there?
17.
I'm going to do the general.
Besides, you got to do this every week.
Well, like the celebration had a decent amount of check-ins. That's why.
Yeah, and it's probably the fresh hop. I get it. If it's like every fresh hop season, you're gonna get a little bit more variability. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So 30,000 million check-ins. Got it. This is a shot in the dark. I haven't had a Sam Adams beer maybe ever on the podcast.
I don't think we've had.
No.
Some Utopias.
I've had Utopias. Yep, that's right. Utopias. I forgot about that. I have one downstairs. I could do that. I should have done that tonight. Duh.
Save it for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, save it for my breakfast. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say it's not gonna be over. If it's over 4, I'll be very surprised. I'll go get the Utopias. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be kind of low. I think like a 3.67 maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Good guess, but even lower. 3.52.
Damn.
On the board. Though.
On the board. Are you doing a cocktail?
We've just
over.
We've just left this door wide open for over.
0.15? Is that where we're at?
I think so. Yeah, I said 6.7 and it was 5.2. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I mean, it's where it should be. I'm not even blaming Untapped on that one. That's where it should be. Yeah,
it seems like for every 100 people that checked it in at 3.5, one person checked it in a 4.0.
Yeah, I know.
So that tracks.
Yeah.
Now, I have a theory that this is rebranded Sam Adams White Christmas, which is something that I've seen in their holiday packs and tried, probably half a decade ago.
Maybe. That would make sense. Holiday white ale. Yeah.
That has 94,000 check-ins with a 3.39 average. So
maybe they improved upon it.
So
let me just read you the description. I'm going to read you the description on the White Christmas, okay?
Okay.
It says, this unfiltered white ale is blended with holiday spices, including cinnamon, nutmeg, and orange peel. So,
it's exactly what I taste.
Pretty close. Yeah.
I guess that would, not to go all, crazy here for a second, but that would, it looks like the last time a holiday ale or the White Christmas was checked in back in 2000. Nope, that's my friends. Sorry. So hang on. It looks like it was checked in today. So maybe a similar beer?
I didn't see White Christmas was not in the holiday cheer pack.
I mentioned there was 90,000 check-ins. I'm not surprised that last year's version, people are still checking it in,
Yeah.
So I need your guys' advice for what I should bring now that I know what you two are drinking. I have another fresh hop beer, I think from Portland, Oregon. I have some more Eastern Montana, I think some Billings or Bozeman area breweries that for my recent trip to the other side of the state, I could bring. Or I have Treehouse, which, we love here, but I don't know how many more Treehouse beers we can have on the podcast, but...
Well, I mean, you just bought those Treehouse. I feel like you have to, we talked about it on the last episode. I feel like you have to drink one. I did all that work.
Okay.
They're just getting older. The more you wait on them.
Well, put it this way. By the time we record, there will be none left. We record next, so... All right, Treehouse it is.
Now that I'm looking it up, I think they may have, when we went through the whole thing in, 2019 and 2020, where people went all nuts and we stopped saying Merry Christmas. I think Sam Adams may have gotten rid of White Christmas and named it Holiday Ale just to go that direction.
I mean, they got me.
I think that's what happened.
I mean, it makes sense. I don't think there's any Christmas beers in this pack I got. Old Fezziwigs is in there. I forgot what the other ones were. Their winter ale and one other one that I drank. Oh, OVP. Yeah. Which is the oaked vanilla porter, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of their classic. I feel like that is their classic 12-pack, those four.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they got rid of White Christmas because
now, so.
we don't say Christmas anymore.
Well, I also think that they just were looking for a rebrand. So, okay, so this beer is one that I saw the name of, and I'm like, well, I've never seen a beer with a more overt, appropriate name than this one before.
Okay.
So I bring to you from Treehouse there Summit Fever.
Oh, nice.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost kept one of these out of your box. Like,
Oh,
I looked at it
I'm
and
glad
I said,
you didn't, because otherwise I'd be drinking air tonight.
I looked at it and I said, oh, this would be really cool to drink this one. And I still put it in your box, clearly.
Well, I appreciate you to resisting the temptation. But I got this one. I'm like, if I'm going to have one from this box on the podcast, this is going to be it. A shout out to a Treehouse beer that I didn't have on the podcast, but thought was really well done and deserves its own shout out before I get into this one, is the Waffle Banger. They made it sound like a limited release. I don't know how, how with Treehouse, what's a limited release, what's not a limited release.
I could tell you this, it's not limited. I think I have one from like this summer or earlier in my fridge right now.
Sure. Yeah. And it's a maple syrup infused IPA. And I was like, that sounds too sweet. And I don't think that'd be very good. I don't know how, whatever the food scientists in the Treehouse labs are cooking up, I don't even know you call this stuff beer because it's that good. I'm like, how are they getting these chemicals, these maple flavor chemicals in this beer? Because it's not just it's not putting maple syrup in beer. It's more than that. They're putting like essence. They're like distilling. They're making waffles. They're covering them with butter and syrup and whipped cream or whatever, and then they're like distilling that down into like like the meme with the scientist with like the one little dropper, like the one drop, and like I don't know how they're doing this, but shout out to the food scientist and Waffle Banger, because that one, excellent beer. And we'll see if the Summit Fever, can be a contender. For those listening at home, it has a picture of a guy on a snowy mountain wearing a backpack with 2 trekking poles. He looks like he's all decked out for an adventure, and I could totally see myself as the guy on the can here.
I'm very upset that Treehouse doesn't have this label as its picture on Untapped. It's just the picture of the beer.
Oh, that is disappointing. I mean,
it's very
change
unfortunate.
You want to see in the world, you could always submit a new picture.
I don't have the beer in front of me.
It's true. They have a whole series of these Summit different, like there's like Mount Katahdin, Mount Adams, all these like New England peaks. It seemed like they had their own varieties, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But I saw the Summit Fever, I'm like, well, that's the one to bring on the show. I'm not sure if they're related to this one. I'm sure they're all in the same family. A bit of a crisp pour over here, but I think this is a Velociraptor proof beer. Yeah, I don't even know if you can really tell
safe.
that. You can't even tell that I got a flashlight behind the beer.
No, it's very, very, very dark.
This beer honestly looks like you mixed a hazy IPA with like a pint of heavy whipping cream and stirred it all up. That's what this beer looks like. Smells like Treehouse beer. I'm gonna read the can, and they're gonna tell you what fruits I'm about to taste, because they're better at fruit. They're for the fruit spurts here. It says it carries notes of peach nectar, passion fruit, and earthy citrus with a firm and refreshing bitterness. Yeah. Brewed with a blend of peacherine and Nelson hops and a blend of New Age hazy beer yeast.
Nice.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers. I will say, while you're drinking this, the Treehouse YouTube page has slowly become one of my favorite pages on YouTube to follow. With Nate, the head brewer of Treehouse, always posting like different types of reviews of different types of beers, different types of macro beers. He had a video from this past week telling brewers like how, like, if you wanted to elevate your homebrew game, what he would recommend you do to do that. Like, a lot of good information coming out of that YouTube page, which is surprising because, I don't know how he has time to infuse pancakes and waffles into beer and also have a pretty good YouTube page, but surprisingly really interesting YouTube page if you're into beer.
Yeah, I've seen their stuff, and we've talked about it before. I think that deserves a shout out in the show notes. We'll put a link to their YouTube page. I thought you were going to say is them hiking up snowy mountains slowly turn into them just summiting peaks. I'm like, well, I'd want to tune into that channel. Back to this beer. I don't know why, but with a name this, I'm going to say kind of generic and not in their Treehouse naming convention, I didn't expect anything too wild out of this. I was like, okay, it's going to be basically like one of their pale ale, which anybody else would call it like a triple IPA, but for them it's like a pale ale. No, this is, as you could kind of guess based on my description of how hazy it was, super, super, super hoppy, really sweet, but not in an overly cloying way. When they would brag about how many pounds of hops are in each barrel, it's like there's probably a pound of hops in this can. That's how intensely hopped and how fruity and amazing this beer is. Wow, wasn't expecting. I mean, I don't know why I'm doubting Treehouse at all. I shouldn't.
You're very surprised for this being a Treehouse beer.
It's so good. I know. I just wasn't. I didn't until I read that description to you right now. I didn't. Because I'm like picking out what I want to order, and I'm like, oh, how about like King, Emperor, Queen, Supreme Ruler Julius, and like double doppel triple ganger, and like all these crazy adjectives. Extreme project of juice. I'm like, okay, and then I'll throw into the Summit Fever. Not expecting it to be in that realm at all, and
that's how they get you.
Wow, this is
they want you to order the triple quadruple Julius, and really their unique stuff that they're doing is the other stuff, right? It's the waffle bangers, the Summit Fevers, the things like that. The things that have their own unique name do have unique flavors of their own, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So as we're talking about it this much, I'm doing it. 5.0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That's how good this beer is.
Okay.
Amazing Treehouse beer. I mean, Treehouse is its own scale. And so for this to be on to the top of the Treehouse scale, you can't argue it's not a 5.0 in the Obert's world.
Yeah, that's very, very high praise. The highest praise, some may say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with a guess of 5.0, is that what you're going to guess for your Untapped rating too?
Yeah, locked in.
I think you have to.
Locked in.
So then I would guess that. I mean, how many check-ins do we got?
Guess a 5.0.
So we got 422 check-ins on this beer.
Okay, so 421 of those would have to be like 5.0s to maintain a 5.0 average.
That's true. Yes, correct.
Okay. I don't know if I can go that high, but I do really, really like it.
But what do you think the other people think about it, though? The general public. I think
I have to go with the nicest rating of them all, with a 4.69.
That's very high.
That is extremely high. I will tell you this: it's not that high. I think Chris is going to get a point this week because it is a 4.27.
Ooh! Wow.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the people are wrong, but Chris is on the board.
Look at that.
Chris is on the board.
I thought when you said the nicest number, I thought you were going to pull out a 4.20. And you were going to run away with this.
After giving a beer a 5.0, I had to stick firm to my convictions. Yeah, you know what I mean? I couldn't pander to those 422 people.
Yeah. Creeping up.
All right, 44th point for
Creeping
Chris.
up.
So right now the standing is me at 51, Chris at 44, Obert at 40.
Creeping up.
And then we got Tud 2.0 at 3, the Brew Locker at 2, and Jordan at 1.
It's actually Jason.
It's Jason, yeah.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah.
Listen, they both start with a J.
Though. On the board. The one episode, 1 point. He's done. Perfect.
It is a perfect rating.
Perfect score.
Yeah, much higher average than the three of us.
Right, yeah.
Well, you did say Jordan, so I guess that brings us to the Frosty Mug of Wisdom. Chris, honk, honk, honk. Honk, honk, honk.
We are moving this episode right along, people. Chris has to go to bed.
I'm gonna fall asleep right now during the handles.
I guess, even though I'd rather have a 5.0 beer than a point on the board, but I guess we should still celebrate Chris's achievements. So
I'm raising the roof for the people.
Made a deal with Chris. He can get off the call and go to bed, only if his handle is good enough.
I'll be here forever.
I like this. This is good.
I might as well call in and drive to work.
I was gonna start off the episode and say, like, Chris, you can hang up anytime after your review as long as you give us a good handle and we both vote that it's good enough for you to leave the podcast. Otherwise, you gotta have a new handle. But
Yeah, no, I don't know.
But anyway, again, speaking of Jordan, take it away.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle.
Mug of Wisdom! Drink. Mug of Wisdom!
All right, thank you. Boy, that song never gets old.
Never.
Banger every other week. So Chris, 300 mug is yours to fill up with wisdom, hacks, Christmas gift ideas, whatever you got for us.
Ooh.
It's definitely a lot of good things I could think of. Let me give. I might need a little bit of buffering time, so I'm gonna I'll let Obert go first this week.
Okay. I'm back on the Apple Plus TV, Apple TV Plus, the whatever Apple's charging you to watch their television shows for nowadays is called. Not just Apple TV, because that was a thing. That was a separate thing. Apple TV Plus. I'm back on the Apple TV Plus. I'm picking up some shows that I had skipped the last time I was on Apple TV, and I started watching Shrinking. Chris, in particular, I think that this is a show that you would like. The whole idea is, what's this guy's name? Jason, the guy from How I Met Your Mother. Jason Segel. Jason Segel. I got there.
Yeah.
Jason Segel is the main character, and he's a psychiatrist who's kind of mourning the death of his wife and as a result of his going through this grief and this trauma, he ends up getting way too involved in his patients' lives. And he shares a practice with Harrison Ford and another woman who another new actress who I haven't seen before. And it's kind of like, she's more of like the Gen Z versus like the, Gen X versus, the boomer. And it's just like a feel-good 30-minute sitcom that I think, as someone who I know likes How I Met Your Mother, I think you would really like the show. Harrison Ford does a pretty good job as well. Just like, if you're looking for a sitcom to watch and you finished your fourth watch through of 30 Rock,
not yet. Almost.
This is one that I think you would like. So shout out to anybody else if you're watching Shrinking. I think they're on like season 4 now. I just started season 1. But I'm enjoying it so far.
Obert, I want to play a game with you. Out of 80,072 check-ins on IMDb, what do you think Shrinking is rated?
I think they're going to like it.
Or IMDb's a 10-point scale with individual decimal point ratings.
And they have bottle caps?
They have stars.
Okay. So I think they're going to like it. I think they're going to give it like a 7.93.
So they don't have the last decimal point. It's like
sorry. I thought you said 7.9. 7.9.
Okay. You're close. You're very close. If we had a point rating scale, you'd probably get this. It's an 8.0.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm assuming that most good shows end up right around there. Just like most good beers end up around,
No, you'll be surprised by IMDb. IMDb is actually very good at like rating things, in my opinion. Like they're a lot more all over the board than Untapped is.
Gotcha.
Well, I guess that's a good sign then. So
yeah, take
that, listeners, and check out the trailer in the show notes. You still need more buffering time, Chris?
Yep, you know it.
Okay, then I guess Chris is not going to bed as early as we thought.
No. We gave him the option. He said nay. He said, "I'd rather hang out with you guys."
I mean, I would rather hang out with you guys than go to work. Yeah, for sure. Those are the options. Yeah.
My handle this week is going to be kind of a newer video game, but kind of old. And I think we've discussed it here in the past, and we kind of chalked it up to, well, this was a mistake when it was released way back in the day. And that is Cyberpunk 2077. I believe this has been discussed here before as a failure of a video game, and I think everybody knows that it's a failure.
I think you made it a handle.
That it was awful, right? Well, I'd like to go back and correct this. No,
it was a handle of yours.
Yes, but what I'm saying is I think in my handle I said it was a terrible, buggy mess, and you shouldn't. Life advice was you should not buy the game.
This tracks for a handle that Ted wanted to make a handle so bad, but ended up he couldn't recommend. So I follow this.
Yes, correct. So I'm going to change my life advice. As time passes, things do tend to get better. And last year, Cyberpunk released the Phantom Liberty expansion pack, and with that, they basically CD Projekt Red, the company that makes Cyberpunk, redid the whole damn game. Everything, there's still some like general buggy issues. I don't think that'll ever be fixed, but the game itself is a revelation now. I've been playing it recently. I kind of never finished it before because, like I said in my last time I brought it up, it was a terrible game and nobody should play it, and I was really upset with myself for spending the $60 that it cost to get it. Well, the expansion was on sale, so I bought it. Because everybody has been raving about this expansion, and I was like, all right, I got to see what this is, because I really wanted to like the game. I like all of CD Projekt Red's other games, which are all the Witcher games, and I have to say I'm in love with this game at the moment. It's awesome. It's a fantastic game. The first act, which I just completed, leaves you with a giant it basically changes the entire game on its head after Act 1, which is fantastic. Great game. I'm enjoying it so far. Based on Act 1, which I don't know how many acts there are, probably 5, I'm assuming, like any normal video game. This game is on an untapped scale, or on an IMDb scale, I'd give this, somewhere around like an 89 at the moment. It's much, much, much better. Obert, if you're looking for a game to play, I know Chris will never play this. This is more of a handle for you. If you're looking for a game to play, it's a first-person, action RPG that's got, immersive sim elements to it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I actually have 5.3 hours into Cyberpunk, and I should go back. 5.3 hours is like enough where you're through the tutorial. It is a very long intro to the game, I gotta say.
Yes.
But I should go back. I should pick it back up.
When was the last time you played it?
July 7th of 2023.
Okay, so I think a lot of the changes had happened. Maybe not. I mean, maybe when you boot it up, it'll be an entirely new game for you.
Maybe, yeah. So yeah, I'll have to give it another shot.
Especially if you own it. I mean, hell, why not? All right, Chris, it's bedtime or it's not.
I think it's bedtime. No. So actually, it was funny. I was talking to Dana earlier, and I was like, I need a handle, and I don't know what.
She's like, how about some Pokemon trading card game lore?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
about Dawn Power Wash?
I mean, listen, it's great. It's tough on grease. Dawn's tough on grease. I don't know if you know that. But so the only thing I've been doing recently is playing a game that I know has been a handle before. So and that's all I've been doing. I got nothing. I really like.
How about any skills on how to wake up at the ass crack of pre-dawn?
No. It's just is. You just do it. You just have to get up. When your alarm goes off, you just have to get up. You can't snooze. That's the downfall. You can't snooze. You just have to get up. It's the worst. If you snooze,
as a chronic snoozer,
I know.
Let me guess. You lose?
No, I don't snooze.
If you snooze.
If you
lose.
if you snooze, you lose. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, but as a chronic snoozer, what is the tip to avoid snoozing?
This is true.
Like, how do you defeat it? Like, what do you got to do?
I mean,
this is a skill.
It is. It's just a skill. You just
pure willpower.
Yeah,
pure willpower.
You just have to. You have to.
You're not putting the phone on the other side of the room.
Nope. It's right next to me.
You're not.
I shut off my alarm and I get up. That's all it is. If I snooze, it's game over. Like, and it's happened.
Again.
You lose.
If you snooze, you lose.
You lose. No, I hate getting up early. I hate it. But when you're like, oh, I guess I have to go.
And we've said this before, though. As someone who hates getting up early, you somehow end up always in shifts where you end up getting up earlier than anybody else I know.
So this isn't even supposed to be my shift. This is what's bullshit about it. I'm supposed to be like the night shift, but no, I have to train on days. It's like, but days is like 9 to 5. This is not 9 to 5.
This is just late, like a late start to a night shift, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. No, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, it's okay. No, it's just sheer willpower. Honestly, you just have to train yourself to not snooze. You just have to be like, okay, kick the blankets off and get up. Like, you can't do it. You just have to. But yeah. The only thing I can think of, and I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast before, but I'm always, as we've discussed before, I'm always like balancing children's shows with, shows that are bearable to watch and shows that are unbearable to watch. Like it's a constant battle. Well, I feel like nowadays in every parent's life, that's my age, or our age, I guess, there's one show in particular that if you can get your kids hooked on, it really doesn't suck. It's like, they're pretty funny episodes, good stories, like good feel-good moments. And recently, we finally got our kids hooked on this show. And that
There's
is
only one of two answers I can guess.
Bluey.
The other one was Peppa Pig.
No, Peppa Pig's terrifying. I don't know if you've ever watched Peppa Pig. It's terrifying.
No.
Bluey, finally, after years, literally years, we're like, let's watch Bluey. We put it on. They have no interest in it. For some reason, the last week and a half, the kids have gotten into Bluey, and you hear it Tud knew that, but like, it's feel good. It's a feel good kid show. Like, it has good morals, and like, there's some funny bits in it too that, like, you know, I end up chuckling at it because it's just a silly kids cartoon. So, I guess if I were to put a handle over, it would be that. And if you can, parents out there, just keep trying. If your kid's not hooked on it, just keep trying. It eventually happens, because now we watch Bluey together, and it's way better than watching almost everything else that they watch.
I thought you were a big Coco Melon fan.
No,
is what I heard.
I mean, my kids for sure, they loved Coco Melon. Coco Melon.
I thought that was the reason you named your dog Coco.
No. Yeah, I was like, why did we name her Coco? But it's because she kind of looks like Coco, sort of.
Because Melon didn't fit.
Melon, yes, even though now she breaks into the dog food and she eats a lot, and then she feels like a melon. Freaking, like, she just pigs out, and she's a pig. It's crazy. Oh,
so
my God.
when Coco eats food, she's a melon.
Should have named her Peppa. Exactly. She's so funny. Dogs, man, they're funny. But anyways, yeah, dogs are funny, which is why Blueys are dogs. So go ahead and watch Bluey with your kids. That's the only new kid show that's worth watching.
Any tips on how to get if you have I almost called them students. If you have children like your children that don't like it, do you just force them to watch it?
No, I don't know why. I don't know why it happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know if someone at school was talking about it, but it just happened. It's magic. It was Paw Patrol and it was all this other stuff, but now it's Bluey, and I'm okay with it. So
nice. Well, with that, we'd like to thank all for listening. We would like to thank the breweries who provided today's beers. I will thank Sierra Nevada for their Celebration Fresh Hop IPA.
I would like to thank Sam Adams for their, in air quotes, holiday white ale, maybe.
And I'm going to thank Treehouse for their 5-star Summit Fever.
Please make sure you head over to social media and follow us everywhere at DAWF Podcast. Also, make sure you follow the email at dawfpodcast@gmail.com. I do know that we received an email. We didn't have enough time to go through it today. We will do it on the next episode when we have more time and we're not trying to get Chris to bed. Also, head over to the Discord. You can join the live conversation over there. Links in the description of the podcast. If you would like to support us monetarily, you can head over. And for as little as $1 a month, you can support us on Patreon. The money helps pay for things for the podcast, including doing fun things like going to Asheville, which doesn't exist. #RIP Asheville. But maybe we could do Colorado. Denver would be awesome. If you don't want to do that, please make sure you open up the app that you're listening to us on right now. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. The written ratings do help more than the 5 stars, but if you just want to give us 5 stars, that's also helpful as well. And if you don't want to do that, well, just tell your friends and your family and anybody else that you should listen to this awesome beer podcast, because we're awesome. And if you want to laugh, we're also awesome for that.
If you're at like a White Elephant Yankee gift exchange, what do you call it? Yankee swap.
Yankee swap, White Elephant.
Just put in there an iPod Nano 2003 edition. Load it up with this show, and
I got something even better. Create an email, a Gmail, go to Patreon, buy whatever the minimum gift is, subscription for a 12-month pass to our Patreon, and gift that.
Okay, I was more of talking about getting your friends to listen to the show, but sure.
Hey, they would also listen because they'd have a free subscription.
That's true.
And so with that, my name's Tud.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Ober. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
Chris, any tips on how to fall asleep earlier?
No, that is still a mystery.
Okay.
The scientists are still working on that.
Still working on that one, yeah. I can. It's really like setting your alarm and being like, wow, you have to wake up in 4 hours and 30 minutes. You just are just like, what is this life? And then you do it. And then you do it for 18 years. So that's cool.